بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك آل نهيان.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, Your Excellency, Minister Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, dear participants, dear guests, I would like to welcome you all to the third edition of the Child Mental and Behavioral Health Conference 2015 in the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, based on principles which seek to raise children healthy mentally and behaviorally. And this is the best example to build a healthy and safe society. Since we are facing a lot of challenges these days, many challenges related to our mental and behavioral health, and mainly in what concerns our social relations with others in a society that witnesses a lot of interactions, we find ourselves among these challenges and interactions in front of many problems that we haven't been able to solve them the right way. This is at our level, the adults. What about the children who are not really able to know the mental and behavioral challenges that they face? This conference addresses the mental diseases that concern the children related to anxiety, hyperactivity, in addition to many other challenges, and with the participation of doctors and physicians from around the world who will be exposing the most recent developments in the world in this field. This is considered one of the unprecedented steps in this context. This conference seeks to change the stereotypes related to the issue of autism, in addition to many other health challenges, and to suggest solutions and many other aspects through which we seek to enhance the role of these categories in the society. The Child Mental and Behavioral Health Conference is held in cooperation with the SAHA and Sheikh Khalifa Medical City and Cleveland Clinic, in addition to the Emirates and the Gulf Mental and Behavioral Health Centers. I would like to welcome the President of the conference, Dr. Ahmad Al-Almai, mental health consultant for children in the Khalifa Medical City. I would like to give him the floor.
We made a lot of changes this morning to some of our program. Some of you know that this is related to the passing away of late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia last night. So some of our program parts will probably have to be altered accordingly. فأتكلم بالعربي نحن بيكون في بعض أولا.
I would like to welcome all the guests and participants and apologize for the delay. Some parts of the schedule will be changed because many of you know that His Majesty King Abdullah Abdul Aziz of Saudi Arabia passed away yesterday, and I would like to present my condolences to you. I would like to start, and we hope that the program will remain the same but maybe shorter. And I would like to say that the gala dinner will remain as is, but some segments of the schedule will be changed.
Tonight, but there might be some change in the program. Okay, once again, I'm welcoming you this time to the third Child Mental and Behavioral Health Conference here in the beautiful Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Much like the previous conferences, the goal of this year's conference is to provide the latest updates into the treatments, management of children and families with mental and behavioral health needs. We will also continue to focus on the issue of child abuse and child protection laws. With steady increased awareness of behavioral health issues, the demands for services in the UAE and indeed the Gulf region are ever increasing. As providers, we need to vigilantly advocate for the mental and behavioral health care needs of ever-growing demographic. Your presence at this conference indicates your dedication to improving the lives of those challenged with mental and behavioral health issues. And I hope your experience here at the conference will not only underscore how important your contributions are, but you will leave with the enhanced awareness of the latest evidence based on best practices. We are privileged to have a salubrious group of experts who will no doubt keep you engaged and enrich your knowledge with their presentations. On behalf of the organizing committee, our host, the Gulf Child Mental and Behavioral Health Society, in conjunction with the Emirates Psychiatric Society, I want to thank you for attending and participating. And I hope you're encouraged by the progress we are making and the lives we are improving. Continued professional collaboration is the key to ongoing success in the treatment of child mental health. Again, I want to thank you for your attendance in the treatment of child mental health. This annual conference will continue to expand, making it actually the largest gathering of its kind in the Middle East. In fact, we probably, I don't know, some of you may not know this, but this is the largest gathering of child psychiatrists in the Middle East. We have them here, many of them here with us today. We also need to acknowledge the mental health needs of children throughout the Arab world, particularly those who are innocent victims of wars. I want to mention the wars in Syria and Palestine. Of course, our event would not be complete without our guest of honor. We extend our sincere gratitude for His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, his patronage and continued support, highlighting the importance of this conference, bringing together a plethora of professionals to share their expertise, which will positively impact the lives of children and families with mental and behavioral health concerns. Thank you very much.
نشكر الدكتور أحمد
We would like to thank
الألمعي
Dr. Ahmed Al-Alma'i for these opening remarks and for all the efforts exerted to bring our conference to a success. I would like now to invite Dr. Ali Al-Abeidli, the CEO of Academic Affairs in Abu Dhabi Medical Services Company, Saha.
السلام عليكم.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like in the outset to address my thanks to the organizers of this conference under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan. This is a conference, as already mentioned by Dr. Ahmed Al-Alma'i, is very important. It discusses vital issues of relation to the younger generation. It gives me a great pleasure to convey to you the greetings of Abu Dhabi Medical Services Saha, Mr. Al-Hamli, the chairman of the board of directors, and Mr. Ad-Darmaki, the Secretary General. I wish all the participants a very fruitful conference.
In the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, in the capital city. We appreciate the number of experts who dedicated their time and efforts to participate with their colleagues in this conference. This conference is going to discuss important topics affecting child and development, and we all know that so many diseases start from childhood, and it's of even more importance when we talk about behavioral and psychological well-being and developments. So I urge all of us to use this opportunity to network. As we know, as a practicing nephrologist myself, medicine is more and more a team effort rather than individual effort. So for us to strive for evidence-based medicine and for best practices, we need to share ideas, exchange ideas, and participate as a team towards the optimal care for our patients and the society. I would like to welcome you on behalf of Abu Dhabi Health Services Company, our chairman, His Excellency Mohammed Rashid Al Hamli, and CEO, His Excellency Dr. Matar Al Darmaki. Wish you all the best in this conference, and we truly look towards us in UAE welcoming you, and as we continue our journey towards building centers of excellence in many fields, including this important topic. So I wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
نشكر الدكتور علي العبيدلي على
We would like to thank Dr. Ali Al-Abaidli, and I would like now to invite Dr. Hisham Hamouda, the Assistant Professor at Harvard University and the Vice President of the International Academy for Children's Health.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. It's really an honor and a great privilege to be here today. I'd like to thank the organizers, Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Adil, all the sponsors, and all of you for being here on a Friday morning. It's really a great pleasure being here. Being here also has a very personal message to me. I spent part of my high school in the UAE, so it's really good to be back, and it's really good to be able to contribute to an event that hopefully will help a lot of children in this beautiful country. I would like to also convey to you the best wishes of the Executive Committee of the ICAPAP, the International Association for Child and Adolescent Psychiatry and Allied Professions. We wish you all a wonderful conference and wonderful exchanges during this event. I have no conflicts of interest to disclose. And this will be the outline of my presentation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our organization and our mission and what we do. We'll talk a little bit about challenges in child and adolescent mental health, and we'll also talk about opportunities. So YICAPAP is a professional, non-governmental, multidisciplinary organization that advocates for child and adolescent mental health through policy, practice, and research. It was established in 1935 by a group of child and adolescent psychiatrists in Europe. The first Congress was held in 1937 in Paris, and we hold our World Congress every other year, and it usually brings about thousands of people from around the world. The association represents countries from around the globe, and it publishes a journal, Child and Adolescent Psychiatry and Mental Health. It also publishes numerous books, including a free, highly downloaded e-textbook that's available on its website on child and adolescent mental health. This is the executive committee of the last executive committee of the organization, and this is the newly elected executive committee. Do you mind switching the slides from? It's not working. Sorry about that. Can you switch for me? Move on to the next slide. Keep going. So the next picture is from the World Congress. Our last World Congress was held in July of last year in Durban, South Africa. I'll share with you a little bit of a personal story. With my work, and I'm sure a lot of people here, I tend to travel a lot, and one of the things I always feel guilty about is, not spending as much time as I'd like with my own kids. So, I made the decision to take them to Durban. If you want to show the next slide. So, we had a chance to visit the reptile zoo. I'm not sure how much, as you could see, they enjoyed it. It doesn't look like they enjoyed it a lot, but. I promise, it will get better. I'll show you a picture of them later. It definitely does get better. One of the most important activities that YICAPAP organizes is study groups. So we have study groups that take place all around the world, and including some here in our region. The last study group was held in Kuwait just a few months ago in November, and I know some of the people here in the room were there as speakers or as attendees. And it was held in association with the Eastern Mediterranean Association for Child and Adolescent Psychiatry and with the Kuwait Association of Child and Adolescent Mental Health. So these are some of the study groups that take place around the world, and in our region we've had at least 5 before. And these are just some of the pictures of the recent event that we held in Kuwait. Okay, so we'll move to talk about some of the challenges that we all encounter in child and adolescent mental health, and I'm sure a lot of you are obviously aware of some of these challenges. So what do we know? So we know that 3 of the 10 leading causes of disability worldwide are related to mental health. Mental and substance abuse disorders were found to be the leading cause of all illnesses of years lived with disability worldwide. Why is that? Because we know that these disorders, we know that these disorders start early and hit hard, and hit people at kind of the peak of their productivity, whether when they're entering the workforce or in their education. The global cost of mental illness was estimated in 2010 to be $2.5 trillion. We also know that 1 out of 5 children is affected by a mental disorder at some stage of their life. 20% of children are affected by a mental disorder at some stage in their lives. Approximately 50% of mental illness starts before the age of 14 years, and the prevalence rate for mental disorders among children and adolescents in complex emergency situations, and this is a statistic from our region, from the WHO, in countries in our region range from 22 to 54%. A huge number if you think about it. Suicide is among the leading causes of death amongst adolescents, and I'll show you some of the statistics also regionally. Fortunately, the numbers are lower in our region, but we'll have a chance to look at some of these statistics. Effects can be lifelong: development, academic attainment, unemployment, crime rates. So there are a lot of implications in terms of public policy and other areas, thinking outside of kind of the narrow area of child and adolescent mental health, where the mental health of children affects a lot of things in the society. So this is very important for decision makers to be thinking about in terms of allocating resources for this important area. I'll share with you some of the statistics. I worked in this project with the WHO in 2010, so some of the numbers are a little bit dated here, but basically what this atlas did, the project was to map the child and adolescent mental health service and maternal mental health services in our region. We collected information on a lot of different areas. Some of them are listed here: policies and legislation, surveillance systems, service delivery systems, human resources, sources of financing, where does financing come from for child and adolescent mental health. We looked at availability of psychotropic medications. We looked at social, cultural, and religious factors impacting child and adolescent mental health. We collected information from the countries shown here. So as you see, this is mostly the Arab countries. Algeria belongs to the African region of the WHO, so it was not part of this study, but it also includes other countries in the region, such as Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about the mental health statistics in our region. We know that a high percent of our population is under 15, and this is something that is very characteristic of our region and some of the other developing areas in the world. So 34 to 50% of the population is under 15 years old. In 15 of the countries in the region, 40 to 50% of the population is under 15. I'm sorry, in 7 countries in the region, 40 to 50% of the population is under 15. There's also a high number of countries with risk factors related to mental health. So many countries are low middle income countries. And the region is undergoing a lot of transitions, as you all know. There's been a lot of unfortunate wars in Syria, in Palestine, other areas, poverty, unemployment, changes in lifestyle, and globalization. This is also some statistics from the WHO. You may see that the majority of child and adolescent mental health services in the region are provided by primary care physicians, and only 17.7% is provided by child psychiatrists. If you look at the second part, I'm not sure if the laser is clear or not, but in terms of training, we also have a huge deficit. So 67% of psychiatrists have training in child and adolescent mental health. But for people who provide most of the services, like the primary care physicians, the number is as low as 20%. So a lot of people who provide these services actually do not have formal training. And hopefully with events like this, it will be a chance to everyone to interact and learn from each other. There's also problems in access to treatment. So essential drug list of psychiatric medications for child and adolescents was available only in 40% of the countries. Again, these are statistics from 2010. The numbers might be a little bit better, but probably not so much better. Psychostimulants, for example, were available in 20% of the countries. And in terms of the drug costs, if you see the second graph, in most countries, medications were available for free, so that was a positive thing. In terms of service needs, 27% of children are in need of services, but only 11% actually obtain these services. Again, these are some statistics from the region. This is the Global School Health Survey that the WHO conducts. And if you see here, although we know in general that suicide rates are lower in this region of the world and other regions of the world for different religious and cultural factors, it was surprising to see the percent of students surveyed who had a suicide attempt, felt really isolated, reported that they don't have friends. If you look at statistics from the countries in the region, the UAE, for example, 15.5% of students considered suicide, 12.6% attempted suicide, and 6.4% reported not having close friends. And you can see some of the statistics from other countries in our region. Obviously, we all know that we have a lot of deficits in our region in terms of epidemiological studies, so a lot of times we really do not know the exact numbers. But I have some of the numbers that we have from studies published in the region, rates of some of the disorders. So intellectual disability, as you see, it's a little bit higher than the rates worldwide. So the global estimate is 0.3 to 0.4%. In this region is 0.3 to 2.2%. ADHD ranging in our region from 0.5 to 15%. Conduct disorder, similar to rates in other countries, 2 to 10%. Epilepsy, 0.4 to 2.1%. Depressive illnesses, 4 to 20%. And substance abuse, 5 to 8%. This is also some of the epidemiological studies. This was a review done by Drs. Chandra and Ataf Rahman. If you see here the numbers in terms of general disorders, so these are like all types of child and adolescent mental health disorders, the numbers do vary in different countries, but if you look at the UAE, for example, 10 to 23.9% of a general disorder. Some of the countries that have had wars or other trauma, the numbers are much higher. If you look at Palestine, 42 to 48%. So that's really almost 1 in 2 people. So what are some of the challenges? Obviously, the challenge that we've been talking about is the magnitude. These are problems that are very common, very costly, and we do not have enough resources at this point to meet this challenge. There's a paucity of well-trained child mental health professionals. There's also a lot of brain drain, so there are a lot of people who are going abroad to the West, to North America, to the UK, to Europe to study, but a lot of them do not return. Public policy and political environment, status of children varies in different countries, and obviously a commitment and investment from countries also varies towards allocating resources for this important area. Collaboration among professional organizations has also been a challenge. I think as organizations, people have not really been working together as well as we could in facing these important challenges worldwide. Funding is problematic everywhere. Anywhere you go, no matter where you go, people will say there's not enough funds allocated for this the type of work they would like to do. So there's also research methodological challenges. I think this is one of the things that does hold us back to some degree in the region, that a lot of the tools and that are used for research are really based on Western norms. So they're Western instruments that are validated in the Western world, and applying them in our region, which has a very kind of specific culture and specific history and specific background, could be difficult. And there's another problem that our region faces, but I think developing nations in general, is that our research output is very little. So if you look at this study, only 3.7% of published research emerges from the less affluent countries of the world, which account for over 80% of the population. So if you think about it, 80% of the population, global population, the research output is only 3.7%. And this was a study done by Patel and Kim looking at the top 6 psychiatric journals in terms of impact factor, looking at where the studies are coming from. On a more positive note, let's think about the opportunities. I think one of the really big opportunities is one of the big challenges. We have a very young population. We have a unique chance to invest in this population. So, the type of work that we do has a very big chance to impact not only the current status of our countries, but really the future. Because these are the people who are going to grow up being, the innovators of the future, being leading positions in all types of fields. So the young population, there is growing awareness. Stigma is still an issue in our region. It's an issue everywhere. But there is an emerging awareness about some of these problems. Training and accreditation, we are definitely making progress. A lot of people are being trained abroad, but I'm also very happy to hear from my colleagues that there's now, Child and Adolescent Mental Health Board that is being established in the region. I know several people here in the room are part of this initiative. There's, I think, a lot of energy, so a lot of international, a lot of regional, a lot of national organizations work in this field, and I think, this room with all the wonderful people here attests to that. There's really a lot of energy, a lot of dynamism, a lot of people who really want to make an impact in this area. The use of technology provides unique opportunities with telemedicine, with all the types of exchanges that we now could do. There's really a lot of opportunities for people to work together and be able to collaborate. And there's more, I think there's more leadership that is sensitive to some of these issues and really willing to take on some of these challenges. Even among psychiatric journals, we mentioned the challenges. There is increased awareness. The editor of the British Journal of Psychiatry at some point said they're implementing positive discrimination. Sure, yeah. They're implementing almost positive discrimination in the sense that they're giving more chance for studies coming from developing countries. And clinicians should seek international collaborations that are not limited to research. The WHO is also spearheading some of these efforts. This is the WHO Mental Health Action Plan 2013 to 2020. The World Health Assembly 2012 approved the Mental Health Action Plan and the need for a comprehensive, coordinated response from health and social sectors at the country level. Development of a comprehensive mental health action plan in consultation with member states, planned to cover services, policies, legislation, strategies, and programs. These are the four main objectives of this initiative: more effective leadership and governance for mental health, provision of comprehensive integrated mental health and social care services in the community-based settings, implementation of strategies for promotion of mental health and prevention of mental disorders, and strengthening information systems, evidence, and research. There's a huge opportunity for prevention and promotion, and I think one of the best places to do that is in schools. This is a program I've been involved in with the World Health Organization, working in our region, to establish a school mental health program for the entire region. Because schools provide a unique opportunity to intervene and help in mental health prevention and promotion. With that, I will end my presentation. Again, I'd like to thank you all for being here. These are my children. As I promised, they got happier during the trip. And I want to leave you with this quote that I think is very meaningful. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you all.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. معالي الشيخ.
In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, Your Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, Minister of Culture, Youth and Community, dear physicians and doctors specialized in the mental and behavioral health of the children, I would like to welcome you all to this conference held at the ECSSR, based on principles which seek to raise children who are healthy mentally and behaviorally. This is considered to be the best means in order to establish a society that is healthy mentally and behaviorally. I would like to welcome His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan and invite him to deliver his speech.
Distinguished international faculty, participating psychiatrists, physicians, psychologists, nurses, social workers, professionals, and academics, ladies and gentlemen. You are already immersed in the formidable agenda of this third International Child Mental and Behavioral Health Conference, and I welcome you as the problem solvers in these fields so important to our global society. We know that understanding the human mind and its aberrations is one of the greatest challenges confronting us today. In your conference, you will clearly profit from the knowledge presented in the rich program assembled by Dr. Al-Mai and Karani and their organizing committee. I am delighted that you have come to Abu Dhabi and to the United Arab Emirates. I especially welcome those of you who are visiting our capital city from abroad for this important event. I do hope that while here you will find some time to explore the many rich cultural and architectural features of Abu Dhabi and the UAE. As a layman, I cannot contribute professionally to your informed discussion of ADHD, eating disorder, autism, psychotic disorders, depression, and the many other critical topics that affect children and youth. I can, however, speak for laymen in expressing admiration and gratitude for your dedication, compassion, and competence. Your research and clinical practice are vital to the well-being of our global society. As a layman might infer from the theme of the conference, healthy children are a prerequisite for healthy families, which in turn are essential for healthy societies and consequently to a stable and a peaceful world. As an ancient proverb states, it takes a village to raise a child. Development of healthy children begins with the parents and family who are role models for children, while later peer influence becomes quite important. But, as you know far better than I, healthy children are a composite of both physical and mental health, and it is often the latter where parents and peers are not prepared to deal with those who vitally need assistance. Your work and this conference focuses on the critical issues of mental and behavioral health in children, so important to all societies. As parents, we strive to raise healthy children. As a society, we must promote attitudes and actions that encourage healthy families and healthy children. That societal responsibility belongs to government, corporations, and social and religious organizations, educational and medical institutions, and other forces influential in society. The three organizations that have collaborated in creating this conference are fulfilling that responsibility: the Emirates Medical Association, the Emirates Psychiatric Society, and the Gulf Child Mental and Behavioral Health Society solidly promote attitudes and action that encourage healthy families and healthy children. Likewise, the UAE Ministry of Culture, Youth and Community Development recognizes that healthy people make a healthy communities, and through them grows a healthy and prosperous society. While the ministry does not have specific responsibilities for mental health, we do have the strong belief that strong bodies and strong minds are essential to strong, healthy children and youth. We want to involve all boys and girls in supporting and fitness activities as a strategy to improve the overall health of our country. That, of course, is a massive undertaking and our resolve to succeed takes its inspiration from the founder of our nation, the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, who once declared that, and I quote, "It is my duty as the leader of the young people of this country to encourage them to work and to exert themselves in order to raise their own standards and to be of service to the country." When he spoke, Sheikh Zayed assumed correctly that our young people were already physically fit and prepared to exert themselves. That was a time before air conditioning, a surfeit of motorized vehicles, computers, and fast food. That was a time when young people were naturally physically active and physically fit. Our leaders today know that those times have changed. In many ways, times are good. While we are not about to switch off the air conditioning or mobilize the vehicle, we do plan for better nutrition and increased exercise. Therefore, sports and fitness programs must become prominent among our new conditions for living. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Youth, Culture and Community Development has a broad mandate to improve the quality of life of our people. We know that achieving this objective is complicated, but likely not as complicated as the topics that you will be discussing over the next few days. Sound mental health is both difficult to assess and to achieve, and that it is a driving force for human behavior. Further, we know that events of global tragedies, both recent and past, often derive from apparent behaviors that are not acceptable to any of us. Consequently, we are looking forward to the outcome of your conference to help us better understand mental health and behavior in order that our world will become more peaceful, prosperous, and secure. I am grateful that you are here in Abu Dhabi to deepen our understanding, sharpen your skills, and I hope to make new friends as well as renew old friendship as well. I wish you the very best in your endeavors, and I thank you again, and I apologize that I have to rush because I have other commitment. Thank you very much. All the best.
نشكر معالي الشيخ نهيان بن مبارك.
We would like to thank His Highness Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan for these inspiring words. The international conferences dealing with topics like ours are of very positive impact on the future of our children. We do hope that we will develop initiatives and solutions for child mental and behavior health. I would like to thank you for being with us and wish you a very fruitful conference. Let's start the sessions of the conference with our best wishes of success. Thank you and Assalamu alaikum.